Stephen Foster Stakes Day at Churchill Downs. Let's get this going.
Trust the Profits is proud to be sponsored by Game of Silks. Go to silks.io to get in the game. Real ownership, real races, real rewards.
Welcome, everybody, to Keats Cash Plays, Stephen Foster Day edition at Churchill Downs. It's going to be June 29th. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Keith, and you can find me at the handle Each Every Stride on X Twitter. I'm back in the saddle again here on Keats Cash Plays. Took a couple of weeks off, but we're looking for those price play potentials to get into the trifecta, hopefully at double-digit odds. We're currently hitting over 30% now, so the percentage just keeps going up and up. 2 for 4 on Belmont Day, so we're on to something with the PPs here, trying to keep that cash train rolling. And I have a guest this week for the big card at Churchill Downs. You may know him as a good friend to the show. He's also the host of the Notorious OTB podcast, and he's known for his tremendous AI skills, and he's known to pick a value play horse here or there as well. I'd like to welcome Chase, the Wolf of Oaklawn, back to the show. How you doing today, Chase?
Doing well, Keith. Thank you. Thank you for having me again. It's really impressive whenever I'm invited back somewhere for like the third time. Like I don't ever expect the second time to happen. So thanks for having me, man.
Anytime, man. I know you must have did something right? They say, and appreciate you always coming back. I love your insight, talking these horses up with these angles. So really look forward to the big stakes day here. Stephen Foster Stakes Day, action-packed card. And so we're going to get right into it. I just wanted to say before we get into the show is my friend Chase here hit a monster pick 5 last night at Assiniboia Downs. So he was on a bunch of upset horses. So congrats to you. You know, that's ticket structure we always talk about on Twitter. So congrats. Appreciate you sharing that with everybody.
Yeah, man. Thank you. It was it was a nice little surprise on a Tuesday night. That was for sure. What can beat that? I'm not sure if I can name many things. But yeah, man. Thank you for saying that. And it was a very fulfilling evening, I'll say.
It's amazing when it all comes together like that. And I'm even wearing my ASD hat here for you. So we're gonna get this all rolling here. Keep the cash train rolling here. So good. We got 4 value play horses to share with you. And morning lines actually came out pretty recently. I did a pretty good job, and it looks like you did too, Chase. And we got some monster morning lines that we're going to go over with these horses. So I know you actually have a horse right in the opener. We'll go over the conditions and your horse here, but I look forward to you sharing your insights with everybody.
Yeah, I mean, this horse has done its, best running on all weather here in the first race. The 3, my friend Louis at 8-1 in this 8.5 furlong, $50,000 non-winners of 2 lifetime claimer. I thought this one, the move from turf to dirt might actually do my friend Louis a big favor here. I know all weather isn't dirt, but the all the weather performance is pretty, encouraging. And I really like the pace and the trip that I kind of projected out for my friend Louis in this race, where I really think that it's going to be sitting pretty much comfortably behind the early pace and getting any path at once, because I don't think it's going to be in a very crowded spot. Has a big, Brisnet late pace figure that I think makes this horse pretty attractive, especially if you're looking for the board hitter value kind of horses. Then I think that my friend Louis really kind of fits the build, fits the build, but just can't really let itself lose contact with the field. Is going to need to be, engaged a little bit and keep itself, nearby. So it doesn't get left behind.
No, that's a good point. I think you bring up a good point there with the pace scenario. You got Flavian Pratt aboard, and he's a patient rider and can really pick his spots there. I see some good running lines. I always talk about this passing horses. So I see some races with passing horses, which I like. And good pick there, 8-1. So you got some good value there in the opener. And it's an action-packed day. I mean, we know that, even for the opener, the purse is 66,000. So it's just going to keep on going up and up there.
Right. And you can already, just scrolling up, you see really good combinations with you got Steve Asmussen with Christian Torres. And it's a pretty good little meet that they've got going in Churchill Downs right now.
Oh yeah, it's been a great meet here. That, like you said, all the connections and top, top horses that coming to Kentucky. So that's great. Cool, man. So yeah, that was the opener. I know Chase actually has another horse here for race 3. I kind of have my horses a little bit later in the card, but tell us about race 3 here, Chase.
Yeah, I could not sit on my hands very long. I like this number 1, All in Sync at 15-1.
I'm actually looking at the Stephen Foster Stakes, but we'll get to that eventually. But here we go. Now we got race 3.
There we go. All in Sync has been, in over its head on the turf. I think a move to the dirt might be the ticket here. It's never missed the exact on a fast dirt track, which to my knowledge, Churchill Downs will be on Saturday. I don't think that they have any like crazy weather on the docket. So should be getting a great pocket trip sitting, in the second wave right behind, if not a hot pace, at least a contested early pace. And I love this one just sitting and biding its time on the rail, sitting patiently with a big kind of closing kick. Once again, if you look at those Brisnet figures, and I mean, the horse checked out to me on its merits in terms of its class, its workouts, its speed, everything like that. So I don't think that this one, the price might come down, but I could also see a world where this one actually floats up a little bit for Torres and Hernandez here.
Yeah, no, you bring up some great points there. I mean, I know we complain a lot as horse players, but when the props, right, when the gate, the latch is open, but sometimes we can get the price to go up, which is a great feeling. And then especially if you get that horse in the winner's circle. So good
Absolutely.
point. Yeah, you can get some a nice trip here on the rails. So I like that pick here. And we got you got good connections and hopefully a good trip there for this is for the 50K purse. So good luck with that pick there. All in Sync. All right, very good. So we got those two covered. So Chase has got the first and the third races there. Now let's look at race 5. I'm actually going to pull this up for you right here. This is going to be my first horse that I was looking at, and so check this out. We got a 30-1 morning line horse here. So I was actually had this horse picked out even before the morning lines, and I was even more excited after that. So let's look at it. So we got this horse here. Yes, trained by Victoria Oliver and will be ridden by Geraldo Corrales. Now you pick up a top jockey here, which kind of caught my attention on this big morning line horse. And you have a trainer that hasn't really run that many horses, 0 for 4 this meet, but she does hit a second time off of the layoff here, like Florida is right here. So let's look. We got the long layoff from November to May, then caught a sloppy track. So, this is what I want to make a point is we try to bring up these value play horses to really come up with these angles and been very successful with trying to find these, at least to get in the money. So we could spice up that trifecta. So you caught a sloppy track there coming back to the races. I like the pedigree here. So let's look at the pedigree a little further. Yeah, we got Curlin out of a Distorted Humor mare, Baffled. So those are some good connections. And with those connections, with the pedigree, this horse was actually purchased for $350,000 at the Keeneland September sale. That's the second biggest purchase in this entire race. So that kind of caught my eye. You have the 12 horse, Yes Indeed. We'll look at this horse real quick. It's actually been purchased for $850,000. But think about that. We got this big long shot that was meant to be really well. It's 30-1. And as far as this, I'll make a couple other points here for Floored. Got a good position. And horse, really hasn't shown much the last few races, but I think that's why we're going to get the monster price here. Hoping for some kind of form reversal with the pedigree second time coming back stronger. You get second time Lasix here too. So second time Lasix, and I like the workouts a little bit. So let's look real quick. We got just a nice consistency in the workouts here coming back from May 26th. And he had Luis Saez, who rides for Oliver a decent amount when she puts out horses, was on this horse as well in the past. So give me number 7, Floored, as a huge price here in race 5 Saturday.
I love Gerardo Corrales. I really like anytime he's at Turfway or anything like that. I love, betting on him as a jockey. I feel like he's really talented. And also G Watts Humphrey. Those are pretty good connections too, in terms of the ownership line in Kentucky. So I think you might be onto a good one there. Especially if you like the second time Lasix angle, if you like the second off the layoff, which I'm always really kind of looking for. Is there any sort of pattern off the layoff and anything like that? So, if there is a pattern, then you might have this one on the upswing. And if you do, then you might have a pretty good price.
Yeah, I thought it was worth a swing there. And I know it's a wide open race, but if we can, work out a trip, and this horse, if you just break a little bit better and kind of be stronger second off the layoff. So it'd be fun it's always fun to watch these races when we pick these horses too. It's you got, a lot of handicapping time and, maybe some dollars obviously invested as well. Very good. So we got that covered, and let's look. So we got race 6. I know the chase of, Wolf of Oaklawn here. When you got a pick here in race 6, you could tell about for us.
Oh, I'm in race 8 next.
Oh yeah, you know what? You are right. So there you go. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. So I'll take race 6 here. I actually I like this horse. This was the first horse that kind of caught my eye when I was going through the PPs as a price. And now we do have a 9-2 morning line here for Floki's Flight. Now you got Dale Romans and Martin as the jockey here. Just make some points here. We're going to get a price on this horse. Romans is 0 for 24 at the Churchill meet, so it doesn't even have a winner yet. And you got a 4% jockey. So you may be asking, why do I want this horse? But there's a lot of angles here that I came back to. This is also a second off the layoff angle here for Floki's Flight. I like the early speed that we're going to get in this race. Now, this horse, I'm glad to see him back. Is that this horse was got an extended break after being pulled up and vanned off. So glad to see this horse back at the races, and looks like he's ready to fire a big one. I mean, we got workouts here. Let's look. Got the workout 48-3 on June 1st. Like that one. But then look at this one, June 7th, 47-2. 3 out of 105 horses. Tells me the horse is maybe ready now for a big performance. So that was telling. And, Dale Romans, I'm taking a shot here. He does pretty well sprint to route move. So this is a sprint to the route. I think this is actually the better preferred distance for this horse is 18% with that move for Dale Romans. And then I'll make a point here with, I love this horse here too. Harry is a horse I've always followed, and Big Blue Line. These horses actually aren't the best breakers. So look at them. I mean, we got 9, 9, 9, 9, and then they come on with the big run. I think that's actually going to help Floki's Flight here to get good positioning, kind of save some ground. So love that. And then one other thing I have here for you is the horse is the fourth highest prime power rating on Brisnet. So I know this is a wide open race, but I think the stamina will be better. The speed, like the positioning. So give me Floki's Flight here, race 6, and we got a 9-2 morning line. So I was pretty pleased with that.
Okay, I think it's brave to have an opinion here, a strong enough opinion here to make a play. I will say, because I think this is an incredibly tough race, and it's one that I wanted to get past whenever I saw it. And always just kind of my nightmare, these huge fields for handicapping in advance, because so many things can happen with scratches. But I like that you take the stand there with Floki's Flight. Hurry is a name that I've heard a lot recently, I feel like, and it seems like it's always winning. So I don't mind that move either.
Yeah, this horse is just missed last time, and always is showing up. I remember watching this horse just throughout the whole. I remember at Ellis too these races. So yeah, I mean, like you said, a very talented field and wide open. I'm hoping my price, like you just mentioned on your previous horse. I'm hoping I get the overlay actually on this horse. Hoping to get somewhere maybe like 7, 8 to 1, even higher. So all
With the
right,
field
good.
that big, that there's no
Yeah.
telling. You could plus you ice cold at Dale Romans, which hurts me to say as a follower of
Yeah,
the Dale Tar.
I'm hoping I'm 1 out of 25 there. So yeah, those were other angles. I was like, I'm gonna get my price hopefully with this, and then the 4%, jockey. But yeah, we wish all these connections the best, and then we got eventually the barn's gonna get a winner here. So
Right.
we'll see.
I'm with you. I'm of the mindset that if it's a 0%, trainer, 0% jockey, but the horse is live, then it's a live horse. Like I'm not that worried about it. Like I'm still gonna make the play. So yeah, I like it.
All right, I appreciate your feedback there. Let's look at let's see, we got race 8. So we'll keep it moving here. Yeah, that was Floki's flight in that optional claiming. So let's look at race 8. I know you're gonna tell the people about this pick, and I looked at this horse just a little while ago. I was very interested as well. So tell us about Occult here.
Yeah, it's in the Florida Lee stakes, grade 2, $500,000, 9 furlongs on the dirt, and I really like the Chad Brown dirt horse, and I think that my price will stay fair because it's the Chad Brown dirt horse, and it's not owned by Clarovic, and it's not owned by Peter Brandt, and it's not owned by his big huge They might have a few horses with him, but they're not like his name brand connections that he usually is with. So I think you get a fair price. I think this one is a really sneaky pick to win here. I mean, it's got stakes wins over the surface they're running over on Saturday, and makes it here on its own merit with some graded stakes wins in its past. It's a very consistent, competitive board hitting horse. Like if you look at the down the line here with the Colt, you see a lot of 1s, 2s, and 3s. The horse is just a knock around, grind it out sort of thing, sort of horse, and that's why I really like a Colt, and I'm hoping that I get a bit of dirt Chad price float here. So also I love the consistent pace figure increases at each call from early pace to early 2 to late pace. Just seeing that pace figure number increase each way, as if they look like the AT&T bars, then it's a good thing for me.
Wi-Fi, yeah,
you're right.
LG,
yeah. So that was my case for a Colt, who as another one who I think will be coming from off the pace, but shouldn't leave itself too much to do late. Will need to be in it early, which I think she wants to be.
Yeah, no, you bring up some great points here with this horse. I mean, it was a sloppy track at Monmouth, and just kind of, this horse kind of always shows up. It doesn't matter the condition, and you got Irad now back. This horse, so Irad's ridden this horse many times at Naira. So, I think I'm hoping you can get your price here. That's the thing. I'm a little concerned. I know that you mentioned about the Chad Brown dirt angle, but he got some good pedigree here into Mischief out of a Empire Maker mare. So
yeah,
6-1.
I forgot the great neutralizer. That's Irad Ortiz. He's probably hopefully we get a price. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would love for you to get like at least 5-1. That'd be great for this horse. Awesome, man. So I thought it was an interesting race as well. I mean, you got Taxed here. This was a horse that I've always followed. He got the hot jockey, so Brian Hernandez. So it's a grade 2 for a reason, right? I mean, this is going to be an action-packed day.
Yeah, absolutely. Aren't these races are in the evening, aren't they? No, they're running them during the day now.
Yeah, okay. Post time 4:25. Yeah,
man, I used to like Stephen F. Foster Knight quite a bit.
Okay.
R.I.P. Stephen F. Foster Knight.
Yeah, I saw some online that somebody was complaining about all the night racing at Churchill. I like it though. I mean, it's kind of, you got to switch it up a little bit, right?
Yeah. Plus, it's hot, really hot during the day.
That's
it turns
a good
out,
point. Yeah, we've had a hot stretch the last couple of weeks. I'm sure you had too. It's everywhere.
Oh yeah.
All right, so we're heating up here with some winners. So we got race 9, and this is a horse I actually was looking at pretty closely here. So this is Freedom Principle, the number 3 for Jose Garofalo and Luis Saez. Now this is a 1 mile and 1/16th on the turf. This is the American Derby, 250K purse, and just thought it was interesting race for 3-year-olds. So let's look. So we got this horse, is trained, and Garofalo doesn't really put out many horses at all. He's actually, when I looked, he only had 1 starter at this meet, 0 for 1. Now this horse I remember running at the Penn Mile, which felt like it was recently, but yeah, May 31st, so less than a month. And this horse, I actually realized that some horses just don't like the going at Penn. Sometimes it's a little longer in grass. It's something totally different looking turf course to me. So, this horse drew, the 7 post, and just didn't seem. I watched the replay actually twice, and just didn't seem really interested in running too much. Hopefully now you get Luis Saez. So that last race was a throwaway race for me. You get Saez for a small barn. And I talk about this angle a lot. This is the over jocked angle where my friend at Charting Horse Value, Jeff, this is with his charts, is you get a top jockey for a small barn here. So I thought it was an interesting angle here. And I like how Saez can get this horse hopefully out of the gate quicker than the last few races. That's for sure. So I'm going to throw away the Penn Mile. If you look back at this horse, impressively won at Gulfstream Park in the English Channel, circling the field 5 wide at the mile distance. So, I like that race a lot. And then you get a little bit more extra distance now to work with, which I really like even more. So hopefully you can work out even more of a trip there so you don't have to, go 5 wide like that. And then Garofalo, he put out he doesn't put out many starters, like I said, but he ships well. He actually ships at a 25% clip with winners. So I know it's a small barn, but he does well with shipping. And even I know a lot of these races were at Gulfstream Park, but a lot of good finishes. And then I like, let's see, we got March 2nd and the Colonel Liam. Thought that was a good race too. But it's a wide open race. So that's why I think we're really going to get a price here. I mean, and you got a good post, the 3 post. And as far as this, I just think, the gate speed with Saez coming aboard was one of the main things for me here. So give me Freedom Principle. This is the 9th race in the big stakes race in Churchill.
What's the morning line on the 1 in here in this race? Let me see. I can look it up too.
Look, all right, thanks. Yeah, because these PPs didn't have it, and then they just came out pretty recently. We got Jose Ortiz. Yep. Hard spun. Yep. But yeah, we got Green Light. I mean,
3 to 1. 3 to 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get that float up angle like you were saying, but yeah, I mean, you got a lot of angles with this horse. I mean, I actually looked at this horse, but 3 to 1's a little short for me for the cash play show, but this is definitely a horse you could look at. What caught your eye with Green Light?
It's the early speed. What happens if Saez doesn't get to the front or get out of the gate a little bit quicker with Freedom Principle? Like you have a little bit of a known early speed commodity that has tactics that are forced because it's drew the 1 hole here. It's got to go on the turf, and it looks like it wants to go, which is the good thing. My skepticism for it comes from Rudy Brissett, who, even though he's hitting at 35%, like I don't think I've ever watched a race where Rudy Brissett has won. Like I know he wins, it just doesn't ever happen while I'm watching. So I don't know if I just like tune out for this one and maybe take a flyer at Green Light, even though Green Light doesn't really have the odds. It'd be more of a single, right? Try to play horse as opposed to like a value hit the board horse, because it looks like one of those horses that could be, if it doesn't get the break and doesn't get involved early, probably just drops out completely.
Now you bring up a good point there. These are actually connections that I just can't get on the same page with. I've bet many times, especially Jose, and just we always have those jockeys and trainers, right? And then hopefully it'll come full circle and pay me again. But yeah, no, I think you bring up some good points. I mean, this horse has got to go from the rail, and I like the workout, 5 furlongs, so that's good. Extra furlong workout there. Bullet 1 out of 8, so I think it's a live horse now. You could, like you said, you could always kind of single this horse and hopefully separate yourself from some tickets here, because it's such a wide open race here on the turf.
And I like your horse Freedom Principle quite a bit, and I think you have a good point that you have to kind of overlook that Penn Mile, because that for real is like running through a shabby little league outfield.
It's like my backyard right here, right? Yeah,
right. They're like dandelions and stuff out there. So I think you're right. Plus, that was a really just competitive race all around, and I want to say that it was a really close photo for everything there. And First World War runs back, but I don't think that your horse really kind of ran its race. And I think it's a surface that kind of mimics what Gulfstream has with their Durf a little bit. I think the Churf at Churchill. I think the Churf might be suitable for Freedom Principle.
Yeah, no, I threw away that last race, and you make some great points here. So very good. We got Freedom Principle, and then we take a look at this other horse here. We got Green Lights. I know 3-1, but we like that horse also. So good.
Yep.
All
Unless
right.
I'm watching,
we'll talk about
if I'm watching, don't put any money on it.
That's it, right? And then you open up your account, and it's like, wow, how did I get all this money? So that's a great feeling too.
That's it. You just have to, turn away and tell yourself that you lost, and then good things might happen.
That's it.
Yeah.
Cool, man. So we'll talk about I know you got a horse in the Stephen Foster Stakes, so you could tell the people about that. Now, what a talented field here that they put together. I mean, my gosh, we got a lot of accomplished horses for even 4-year-olds here, and then we got some horses on the rise. So thought it was a very interesting race. Not that many horses I could really, kind of toss right away. So now I know you have a price play in here. Is that going to be your top pick? And you could tell us about your price play as well.
I am not sure if it's going to be my top pick, but it's definitely my price play. Nice. It's the 8 Steel Sunshine at 20-1. I think Paco can keep this horse close and engage with the early pace. Which I think will make this one dangerous, because there's going to be pace to run after, and I don't foresee anyone coming from deep off the pace to win. You only really have to squint just a little bit at Steel Sunshine to see a world where this horse blows up the tote as either a winner or part of the exotic payouts. And I think that Steel Sunshine might enjoy the stretch out in this race a little bit. It's a big swing, but if you beat one of the favorites off the board, then it's potentially a profitable show bet, going across the board. And I could see a heavily backed horse like First Mission or Skippy fail to fire, especially Skippy long stocking. The reason being that I am skeptical of Saffie Joseph Jr.'s ability to transfer his game up to Kentucky. Like his game doesn't seem to follow from Florida to Kentucky, and his horses kind of run flat a little bit. You'll see like Keeneland and Churchill Downs. So I am going to say maybe a horse like Skippy fails to fire, and you get a big price like Steel Sunshine in the mix.
Yeah, no, you really bring up some points there. And yeah, it feels like Skippy always gets the outside post here, right? I mean, every single race I see always is outside draw. So he's got to use that speed early. I feel like Ortiz has got to send him. And, with your horse, Steel Sunshine, that could hopefully, you can kind of save ground there for Paco. I looked at this horse a lot, actually. So you got, good pedigree there in Tapit. So definitely going to like that distance. And, as far as this field, though, I mean, if I could get like 6-1 on Kingsbarns, I mean, that was, this horse still ran a pretty, big race. I know it lost to the 1 there at Pimlico, But you know that Pimlico surface sometimes I think it was the first time he ran at Pimlico. I mean, this horse always shows up. So I was really looking at Kingsbarns, and then Disarm is another interesting horse, kind of on the rise for me. But I think Disarm's got to prove it a little bit against kind of the big boys here. What did you think of Kingsbarns and Disarm?
Todd Pletcher just for some reason has been exceedingly cold as of late.
Yeah.
Don't know why. I also this is a horse that I could either see firing and winning or falling completely off the board, and I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to get out of Kingsbarn, quite honestly. I think it's either first, second, or off the board completely. I do know this because my phone randomly sent me a reminder that I'd put in my calendar that it was Todd Pletcher's birthday today. So he might have birthday luck going into the weekend. Because I keep track of like Bill Mott's birthday and stuff. Because that's people like to win on their birthdays, man. Yeah.
Hey, they say, you got to include, so you're leaving on a stretcher, right? If you don't include Pletcher, that's it.
That's right. No, it's a horse I would play. It's a good price too. At 6-1, that's a good, not too short, just sort of longer price that I think could go either way. I think I saw the 20 and my eyes popped out of my head a little bit with Steel Sunshine though.
I agree, though. I think this horse, and you brought up a point with that show bet too. So especially with the favorites like Skippy Longstockings and Kingsbarn, some of these horses that can show speed, but sometimes Kingsbarns is very consistent, but sometimes you can get these horses that just, like you said, don't fire. So interesting horse here. Interesting field, though. I mean, I really thought it was assembled so well, and then you got the Long Shot Classic Causeway, who's run every kind of race possible. And then, the horse that's on fire right now, First Mission, might go off the morning line favorite. Looks like probably what happened between the 2 or the 9. Who do you think would be the morning line favorite?
Who did I think would be the morning line favorite? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I was kind of figuring it would be Skippy, quite honestly. Just that when I was writing my notes, I made reference to Skippy Longstocking as being the favorite because the Oaklawn preps like through like Derby season and like Oaks season and everything actually proved to be pretty strong. Won the Oaklawn handicap. And then this horse has been doing nothing but putting up, for Brisnet at least three-digit, speed figures, and winning races at a great clip and doing it all over the place. So, I see that the horse is, that his game does travel, however, to California and to Arkansas and to, Tampa, as well for Saffie. So maybe it's just Kentucky, but, I think Skippy should have been the morning line favorite in my opinion.
Good points there, and it's going to be a great race here, as for sure. So very good. So we got that covered, and then I know I got one more horse here too. Then we'll regroup everything at the end. But let's look. I got race 12. So just when you thought the action was done, we got a mile on the turf in the Tepin Stakes, 250,000. And as you see, I have a horse here on my screen, Voodoo Magic, 12-1 morning line. This filly is making her second start here in the States. So we got from Phil D'Amato's barn, and is trained now by Sherry DeVoe and will be ridden by Brian Hernandez. So we got the hot jockey still from the Oaks and the Derby. And let's look. I was really interested by this horse. So we know D'Amato has the last couple of years. D'Amato has done really well with getting these horses from Europe and firing in his barn. Now, obviously, this horse is now happened there, but I like how this horse has been in Kentucky for a while, kind of training every single week. So no gaps really I see there in the in the workouts. And then I watched the race on here. It looks like we got First one in the States at Santa Anita back in February. And as far as this horse, he just didn't really break well, broke slow, ended up going wide. And just as far as this, just didn't really show much interest. So obviously, kind of maybe, learning kind of race there in the States. Now, if you look at this horse, though, he came out of some pretty good, races here in France. Now, I actually did a little research here on the pedigree. This is a big pedigree here for this horse, Voodoo Magic. Now, this horse was actually purchased for $350,000 and is the daughter of Wooten Bassett. So, unbeaten 2-year-old is the sire here in France. And then the sire has had multiple champion horses like King of Steel, who won the Grade 1 at Ascot, and Adahara actually won the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf in 2020. So some recency there with the pedigree. A lot of good pedigree there. Now you got the DeVoe Barn. Now the barn is doing well right now. We got 24% with Sherry DeVoe, as you see here. So current meet doing very well. And you got the hot jockey, Brian Hernandez. Now this horse, as I was saying, I like just the consistency with the workouts in Kentucky, steady, no gaps really. And with 11 horses, I'm hoping Hernandez here, what he does best is save ground. Get a nice trip, kind of mid-pack, make that move. And so give me Voodoo Magic. I know it's kind of a unknown second, in the States here. Thought it was a wide open race, and I was pretty happy with the 12-1 morning line. What did you think of this horse?
I think if you want to take anything away from the Santa Anita performance, then you need to take away that soft turf at Longchamp and Deauville and everywhere else in France is a lot different from firm turf at Santa Anita. And I have a feeling the horse probably just didn't like the going and wanted something a little bit softer. I'm not sure if it gets something a little bit that much softer though with the turf at Churchill Downs. And but you have the good connections, you have the bloodline, you have the pedigree behind everything, plus Brian Hernandez hitting a 29% whenever he's with Sherry DeVoe. I couldn't talk you off. What was your morning line again?
12-1.
Well, yeah, I would be insane to talk you off of a horse like this at 12-1. I would be mad at me for talking you off of a horse like this at 12-1 for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, we're trying to build something where we get these price horses and the money. I love this NA1 here, so it's kind of like still an unknown, and
yeah.
If you look back at some of these France races, and now I know is a Grade 3 winner. I know it's a totally different circuit, but Grade 3 winner in France, then tried obviously the higher condition and flattened there. But never know. Maybe a little refreshing now, and love just getting acclimated in Kentucky. So. I thought it was an interesting horse, Voodoo Magic. And we'll go over all our horses here, kind of do a little recap for you. And just a quick rundown. I liked Floored in the 5th race. That was the monster 30-1 morning line. Made a lot of good points there about the pedigree. And then Floki's Flight, we got the trainer that's 0 for 24 and Dale Romans, but 4% jockey, but I liked a lot of angles with hopefully the trip and speed there. And Freedom's Principle, just thought hopefully you can save ground there as well. 12-1 morning line. And then Voodoo Magic, just thought, with the French races and going with the new barn, we'll give it a shot. So what about your horses here?
Yeah, we started off in race 1 with the 3, My Friend Louie. I thought My Friend Louie just sits the perfect trip here, sitting the stalking trip behind the early speed. And price might come down, but I think it still stays fair. Hopefully we get a little bit of float with My Friend Louie due to the fact that this is a 0% trainer who's just starting off. Then I've got race 3, the 1, All in Sync at 15-1. I really love this play the more I think about it. This one should be sitting a great trip on the rail. Is going to have every shot late, I think. And at 15-1 is a steal, and I think is a bona fide kind of a board hitter sort of horse. Then the 5, Occult. Chad Dirt Horse, price speculation. Please don't let me down. And this horse goes up a little bit as opposed to coming down because of Irad Ortiz Jr. We'll see though. But I think the middle late move that a colt can make both really kind of bode well for it. So I've got it there at 6-1, and then my bomb is the 8 Steel Sunshine at 20-1, who I was just speaking about. But I think Paco can keep this one close to the early pace, and I think it's dangerous if they can do that. And there's going to be pace to run after, and I don't see anyone coming from deep. So I think being up close like Steel Sunshine is going to behoove it. So let's go. I'll be betting it to win at least.
Gotta love it. You got to take those swings in horse racing, and hopefully, you learn some by watching this video. I mean, everybody, approaches the races differently, but we try to come up with these angles to get these price horses in the trifecta, and we're hitting over 31% right now. So appreciate you joining me, Chase, the Wolf of Oaklawn, and tell everybody what's going on with you and where they can find you.
Yeah, you can always find me on Twitter, being abrasive of Oaklawn. I've also got my podcast, The Notorious OTB, on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It's available wherever you get your podcasts. So it's more horse racing content. I get great guests like Keith himself, who is tagging me back for a home and home next week, I believe.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we got rained out this week, but we're we're definitely gonna go with the home and home there. So yeah, look for me on Chase's airwaves.
Yeah, and but that's it. Check it out. That's the best place to get me is through the show with the Notorious OTB or at of Oaklawn.
Yeah, he's a great follow here, everybody. The Wolf of Oaklawn. I mean, he's got a lot of content. He's got even some other picks as well. And I love the the AI with the video now that you're putting out with just very creative ideas. Kind of miss the nice different angles that you're going with. Yep.
Yeah, I see around corners. That's my trick. That's how I do it.
Gotta love it. So I appreciate you coming on, Chase, and thank you everybody for tuning in. And remember to hit the like button and subscribe. To Trust the Profits. We're coming out with a lot of content now with the summer racing and Stephen Foster Stakes Day. It's going to be a huge stakes day Saturday at Churchill. These are the horses that we kind of thought had a look, and whoever you picked, I hope it's a winning bet, and keep cashing those tickets and keep it moving. Now, take care.